Hey everyone, welcome back to Genai's Tech News. We're kicking things off today with a story that is equal parts jaw-dropping and deeply unsettling. According to a new analysis reported by TechCrunch, nearly 1 million people have collectively lost a staggering $3.8 billion after investing in President Donald Trump's Trump Memecoin. And here's the kicker. While regular investors were getting burned, Trump himself reportedly walked away with around $636 million in gains. That is not a typo. We're talking about one man profiting over $500 million, while almost 1 million other people lost their shirts. The analysis paints a pretty stark picture of who wins and who loses in the world of celebrity-backed crypto. This one is going to raise serious questions about the ethics and regulation of politically branded digital assets. And honestly, it probably should. We'll keep watching to see if any legal or legislative fallout follows. All right, shifting gears to the world of robotics. TechCrunch is reporting that Agility Robotics, the company behind the bipedal digit robot, is heading to the public markets through a SPAC deal. Now, while rivals in the humanoid robot space have been hyping up sky-high valuations and making big promises about robots in your living room, Agility's CEO is taking a noticeably more grounded approach. The message from the top is essentially, we're focused on execution, not hype. The company's near-term focus is on industrial and warehouse applications. Think robots working alongside humans on factory floors, rather than the consumer home robot dream. It's a refreshingly honest stance in a sector that is absolutely overflowing with bold, futuristic claims. Going public via SPAC rather than a traditional IPO is also an interesting strategic choice, and it'll be worth watching how investors respond once the company's financials are fully out in the open. Humanoid robotics is one of the hottest sectors in all of tech right now, but Agility seems to be betting that slow and steady wins the race. Okay, gamers, this one's for you. The Verge has the full breakdown on Grand Theft Auto 6 pre-orders, and yes, it is officially happening. Rockstar's most anticipated game in over a decade is set to launch on November 19th, 2026, for PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series S and X. Now here's something worth noting for the disc collectors out there. Physical copies will come in cases, but they won't contain actual discs, just download codes. So whether you go physical or digital, you're essentially getting the same thing. Preloading kicks off on November 12th, giving you a full week to download before launch day. That's a pretty generous head start, especially if you're on a slower connection. The Verge has a full rundown of available editions and where to grab them, so if you're planning to pre-order, now's a great time to lock it in. November 19th cannot get here fast enough. Now here's a tough one for Microsoft fans. The Verge's weekly step-back column is pulling no punches this week, and the headline says it all. Xbox is a disaster. According to The Verge's Andrew Webster, the situation coming out of Microsoft's recent Summer Game Showcase was bleak. The Xbox brand has been struggling for a while now, between game delays, studio closures, and a hardware identity crisis, and things don't appear to be turning around anytime soon. The column describes a gaming division that seems to be losing ground on almost every front. Now, Microsoft is obviously a massive company with deep pockets, so Xbox isn't going anywhere overnight. But the gap between Xbox and its competitors in terms of exclusive games and consumer excitement has rarely felt this wide. If you're an Xbox loyalist, this is not a fun time. And if you're a competitor, you're probably feeling pretty good right now. Here's a significant end-of-an-era story. TechCrunch is reporting that Amazon will stop accepting new customers for its Mechanical Turk platform. For those unfamiliar, Mechanical Turk has been around for about 2 decades and essentially created a marketplace where businesses could pay real humans to complete small digital tasks. Things like labeling images, transcribing audio, or verifying data. It was a pioneering concept in crowdsourced labor. But in the age of increasingly powerful AI, the need to pay humans for these kinds of microtasks has dropped dramatically. AI can now do much of what Mechanical Turk workers used to handle, faster and cheaper. The platform closing its doors to new clients is a pretty symbolic moment. It's almost like AI eating one of the very systems that helped create training data for early AI models in the first place. Existing customers can apparently continue for now, but it sounds like the writing is on the wall for Mechanical Turk's long-term future. This next story is fascinating and a little controversial. The Verge is reporting that a growing number of wealthy American families are ditching traditional schools in favor of AI-powered education platforms. Companies like Forge Prep and Alpha are stepping in to offer AI-driven, personalized learning experiences for kids whose parents have the means to pay for them. Now, here's the irony The Verge is quick to point out. Most Americans don't actually trust AI. There have been some pretty well-documented failures. AI confidently giving wrong answers about food safety being one memorable example. People aren't even warming up to AI-generated music. But apparently, if you have enough money, skepticism goes out the window when it comes to your child's education. The concern critics are raising is an obvious one. This could create yet another massive educational divide between the wealthy and everyone else. If AI tutoring genuinely works, the kids who benefit most will be the ones who already had every advantage. Something to keep a close eye on as these platforms grow. And for our final story today, we've got some real sci-fi vibes. The Verge is reporting that NASA has launched an emergency rescue mission to save the Swift Observatory, a space telescope that has been operating since 2004. Here's the problem. Recent powerful solar storms have been pushing the telescope's orbit lower and lower, putting it on a path to burn up in Earth's atmosphere potentially as soon as this year. To try and prevent that, NASA has teamed up with a company called Catalyst Space Technologies. Their spacecraft, called Link, launched last Friday with the mission of intercepting Swift and essentially giving it a boost back to a safer orbital altitude. It's a genuinely remarkable operation. Swift has been one of NASA's most productive science missions, studying everything from gamma-ray bursts to black holes. The idea of losing it to an uncontrolled re-entry would be a real blow to the scientific community. We'll be following this one closely. Fingers crossed the Link spacecraft pulls off what would be a historic in-orbit rescue. And that's a wrap on today's Genai's Tech News. From billion-dollar crypto losses to robot IPOs, game launches, and a space rescue mission, it has been one heck of a news day. If you found this video useful, do me a solid and smash that like button. It genuinely helps the channel grow. And if you're not subscribed yet, what are you waiting for? Hit subscribe and ring the notification bell so you never miss a story. I'll catch you in the next one.